Hey guys, Kelade here. Welcome to my Mythic Garothi Worldbreaker kill/commentary video. For this fight, we're just going to go with our single target talent setup, which is going to be the Endless Rage, Double Time, Avatar, Bounty Stride, Frothing Berserker, Bloodbath, and Reckless Abandon. As far as for gear is concerned, I am wearing the 4-piece tier 21 using the Legendary Pants and the Legendary Massacre Ring, using Conversion of Fates and Casquar's Curse as the trinkets. For this fight, it's pretty much just going to be a single target fight. There isn't really too many things that you have to worry about in regards to stopping your DPS. That's why in the beginning, right, you jump in, pop off your cooldowns. The only things that you sometimes have to go out and soak these green circles. Sometimes there isn't really one that's in melee that you can soak, but of course as melee you do want to try soaking one that's in melee so you can keep DPSing the boss. And then the only other thing in phase one is these decimations you see coming out. You just want to place these off to the side as melee. You can definitely have room for your melee to, park those decimations on the right side and have the rest of your melee stay over here. So that way you guys keep uptime on the boss. For phase one, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. You keep, soaking these green circles and making sure you move your decimations out of the group. And then once the boss transitions and you have to kill 2 canyons, we actually kill the decimator first. What that's going to do is that's going to make it so for the rest of the fight, whenever decimation gets put on a target, they instantly get stunned, right? So right now, when you get decimation, you can actually run out to the side and drop it. It's just after you kill the canyons, they're going to go into overdrive, and that's like the mythic mechanic, where they're not going to stun you when they're put out. So right here, we're just kind of chilling, waiting for a decimator to come out, and we're going to be bursting this down. The only time I would say that you want to like hold your cooldowns is after you kill these things. And of course, during this part of the fight, there's little green beams that are being shot out. You should never have to not be in melee when those green beams are coming out. You should always be able to hit a canyon, even with the green beams. I never experienced it where I couldn't hit a canyon and still dodge those beams. And of course, after you kill cannon, you want to make sure you get out as far away as possible because the damage that you take is based on how close you are to the boss. Right, get back to the boss, pop off your cooldowns, and just keep going ham. And that's the only time really you have to get off the boss. Now the only other time is of course soaking these green circles, and you can try to soak the ones that are close to the boss as best as possible that we can keep DPSing the boss. The only thing about those soaking things is that after we go through another transition phase where we kill the other canyon, you're gonna want to make sure that uh, you don't waste too many people soaking it because you actually have to soak it twice, right? You guys will see in phase 3, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna knock the guy that's soaking it out of it, and then somebody else has to walk in right afterwards. So that's why I'm like, you really just want one person soaking it, right? We have Armswear soaking that one, and that's really all you need. Because later on in phase 3, that's pretty much what you're gonna have to do. So right here, we do try to bait out the decimations if we can. We have somebody else calling out, the decimation cast, so we all come here to the right side. Luckily, decimation wasn't cast on the melee, so you guys don't see it right there. But that is what we try to do. Try to, your melee just stacks on square, and then when the decimation cast is about to go out, we all go to the right and try to bait it out there. We do mess it up a couple times, because this is one of those fights where like you kind of kill the boss before you fully understand exactly what's going on because it's not too difficult, right? So here's the second transition phase. We're gonna kill the Annihilator once again. Even when you're out here, you can still hit the canyons, right? The melee range for these canyons are really, really long. So you shouldn't ever have a problem with killing them. And of course, since I am wearing the Massacre Ring, I do always try to execute those canyons as best as I can and then throw the Rampage on the boss, right? Because you want that extra Rampage bleed to be bleeding on the boss. Whereas if the ad dies, then, you kind of wasted the bleed essentially. So right here at the start of phase 3, we lusted and pop all of your cooldowns, including my old war pot. Right, old war is still the best like single target pot. Unfortunately, none of us got out to bait the decimation, but it's okay. We can all just actually walk out to the right side, and the decimation will blow up where we were standing before. And then you guys will see it very shortly, right? When these green spires come out now, somebody's gonna soak into them right here. They're gonna blow them up and blow them out, and then somebody else will gonna have to get in them right afterwards, and they're gonna blow up for a second time. So once we enter execute phase, you're really just gonna go ham as best as you can. On this boss, I think you can get, especially on the mythic difficulty, you can get 2 of these battle cries in. Unfortunately, I kind of got trapped on the right side, so I had to waste my leap for that. I do want to save my leaps for when he does the green spire soaking, just in case, right? Somebody can't get to one, I can always leap to it. But it's okay. So right here, the other warrior gets in, so I'll let him just soak it by himself. And after he gets knocked out, I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna soak the second one. Alright, so right here, my battle cry does come up. I do make the mistake, right? The boss is only 5%. I should have just battle cried and bloodthirsted, but I really wanted to get a massacre proc, but I did not have enough rage. So that was like, I think probably the biggest mistake I had in my DPS Hunters fight. Just making sure that I don't get too greedy, because you don't want to finish the fight right after battle cry, right? Because of bloodbath, there's so much damage that you've built up from that battle cry, that's in your bloodbath dot that I really didn't get a tick on the boss. So that's one thing that I could have done better, just like using battle cries like 3 GCDs beforehand. But yeah, that's it for the first fight of the Mythic and Taurus raid. It's a pretty good boss for the first fight of the Mythic encounter, right? Very, very clear mechanics on, you guys should soak on these things and you shouldn't soak these things. So I think it's a good introduction for this raid. And yeah, thanks for checking out this video, guys. Feel free to subscribe to see more. See ya.